Hello, Tom Levecki here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. Today, we had a very special guest, as we love our entrepreneurs, and we love even more our New Jersey entrepreneurs. Hailing from New Jersey, Dan Levison, founder of Vibal Energy Tea. Welcome to the New Theory podcast. How you doing today, buddy?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So Dan and I connected a little while back, and Dan is working in one of the toughest categories, probably the toughest category, the drink space, the specialty drink space. So Dan, let's just jump right in. Give us a little bit about, and I'm going to try the wildflower honey. I tried the lemon. It was excellent. So I'm going to try the wildflower honey while you're talking, and I'll give my feedback. It's the first time trying it. But more importantly, why don't you give back, why did you get into the hardest category, and why did you start Vibal Tea?
Yeah, from an outsider's perspective, it's obviously absolutely, a crazy category to jump into. And they say that, you don't choose your passions choose you. And I've always been really passionate about food and beverage since I was a kid, worked in restaurants. And when I was in college, I actually studied food science at University of Massachusetts. So I've always been in food and been working as a product developer for about 15 years now.
Wow, this is excellent. So
Thank you.
This is really good. So
Awesome.
you did in corporate, and then you decided to hang your own shingle. We'll jump right to it.
Yeah.
And only 3 grams of sugar, correct?
Yes, sir. 3 grams per serving.
And then 100 milligrams of caffeine per serving.
Yeah, which is about the same as a cup of coffee. So it's really easy to, add it into your routine as a substitute for coffee, and 2 servings per bottle. So each of those 16-ounce bottles is 2 cups of coffee's worth.
So this can replace, let's segment either my morning coffee, my 12 o'clock at lunch for me, my afternoon pick me up before I go out. Can this replace those, or is it adjunctive?
I would say it's a full replacement of your morning coffee or your afternoon Monster or Red Bull. A lot of people are trying to find replacements for those because they know they're not good for them. They know they got either A, a lot of sugar, or B, a lot of artificial ingredients, artificial sweeteners. And so we don't want to make people have to have a sacrifice between low sugar or artificial sweeteners. It's basically, I hate to be blunt about it, but I don't think people should have to choose between diabetes and cancer.
Good point.
And that's what I always say. And I have family members that have had diabetes on both sides of my family, and having a low sugar diet has always been important to me. And then so when I see my friends and family picking up, artificially sweetened products because they're worried about the sugar, now I'm worried about, carcinogenic effects and cancer causing it. And I was like, why should people have to make a decision? And it's because a lot of other products and a lot of brands are really looking after the bottom line before their consumers. And that's where they make a cost sacrifice. And we don't want to make a sacrifice, and we don't think people should have to make a sacrifice either.
Well, given your background and everything, and you're an amazing entrepreneur, we'll talk about that, what you're doing in a minute to get this brand going.
Thank you.
You're making it yourself. Like, you're not co-packing this, correct? Or are you?
We're using a small co-packer, but it's more of like a shared kitchen scenario. So
but that's what I'm saying. You're still making it. Like,
yeah,
what I'm getting at is
hands-on.
What I meant by co-packer is you're not like, hey, I'm have somebody from the Midwest. They're going to do a run of 3,000 bottles. They're going to ship it to Jersey and distribute. You're making this stuff, right?
Yeah, very involved. I'm making a tea. I'm mixing the ingredients. I'm adding it. I'm helping. I'm on the line. Sleeves rolled up. Actually, sleeves down because that's GMP protocol.
That's right. CGMP. That's right.
Yes, continuous good manufacturing practices.
Right.
You know your acronyms. But yeah, it's very involved still. Helping bottle, helping pack. I actually last run I rented a truck, drove down, picked it up myself, stacked the truck, unloaded the truck, restacked it, and I'm doing deliveries myself. So very hands-on.
So your marketing strategy, and this again, so the reason why this is a tough business, and I want to segment the bigger box shops, Coca-Cola and all this stuff, they don't make a lot of money on the products. They make their money off of selling the shelf space. There's other names for it, but essentially they're buying shelf space. So it's hard for Dan just to walk into Walgreens and whatever and say, "Hey, sock it," because then they're going to hit him with a big shelf fee. And don't get me wrong. In some cases, it may be worth it. It ties up a lot of capital, even if you could pay the freight, right? And then you have
Yep.
your local purveyors in Hoboken, New Jersey, Jersey City, even by me, Scotch Plains, which are fewer nowadays. But the ones that are there, they need crap that can move. So you need brand recognition. And then brand recognition costs money too, because you got to do a shit ton of social media. You got to buy ads. You got to do, organic stuff. And so you're paying a lot of money. And then like the person still may come in and reach for a Coke can. So that's what makes it a tough space. So give us kind of like your strategy starting out and what worked so far and where did you fail miserably?
Yeah. So let me jump into that, and then I'll take a step back also, because I know you asked what got me into this in the first place. And so I would say that I've always had trouble concentrating, just like a lot of other people. And I was sick of drinking so much coffee and, like I said, all the stuff and energy drinks. And I've always loved green tea, and just doesn't have as much caffeine. So as a product developer, I was able to actually get caffeine extract, natural caffeine, and other supplements and herbs. And once I got my hands on those, that was really a game changer for me. And that's when I was really able to take my green tea, a super green tea blend that I've been working on, to the next level. And so I've always been working on it in the background. I like to say that work always got in the way. And I tried to launch this product probably 2 or 3 times. It's been in the background probably for almost 10 years. And it wasn't until 2019 when I met with a friend of mine, a really woke dude, as they say, who was kind of helping coach me and figure out what my personal ethos was. And so I always wanted to, make health products. And my most recent job, I was at Mondelez, which is the parent company of Nabisco. Yeah. And I got some great opportunities there, working on Triscuit, Velveeta, also working on Oreo brand. I mean, to work on some of the largest global brands in the world was definitely an honor. But I realized that for me, I was kind of like walking in one direction and talking in the other direction. So when I figured out my personal ethos was to help make products to help others live a healthier and happier life.
Oh, wow.
That was it for me. I was like, I need to focus my attention on that, literally, figuratively. And so that's when I realized it was game time, and I had to bring what would be called Vibal energy tea to the market. And Vibal stands for vibes and balance. And we're all about positive energy and good vibes. And we really want to help inspire others to be at their best and follow their dreams and elevate to their highest possible vibes.
Now, the design is excellent because I know Dan through the Digest side, which is our Jersey publication, and I never really paid much attention to the design up until maybe like 2-3 years ago. And now that we have like a really strong design team, I maniacally focus on design now, and create our logos in the back for the 2 shows. But it's really nice. So like you got the branding down. It seems like you got the taste down. So, following the 4 Ps, you got to get the placement down. So give us, when you initially went to stock it, you know how it works, sampling program, get back to you, all that kind of stuff. Walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah. So right now we're in about 60 stores.
60?
Yeah.
That's more than last time we talked, right?
Yeah. I was around, got into somewhere around 50 before. So
yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, last week I got into another 5 stores. You know what? A lot of it's just finding which stores, which accounts I think would be a good fit, calling them, asking to find out, who's the decision maker, making sure I write down the person's name I talk to on the phone. A lot of times people call up and like, oh, who's the manager? I'm going to talk to him. No, you lost already.
On. You need to read. I you know what? I don't ever promote it enough. I don't even know where the hell I have a copy around here. But in my book, I talk about the gatekeeper, which is a person on the phone or the person you talk to in the store. You have the influencer, which could be somebody who doesn't make the decision, but will go to the person who makes the decision and say, holy crap, I like this stuff. Let's do it. You have the shot caller decision maker. And then also watch out for the saboteur. The saboteur is your friend. They'll act like they're giving you information. They're doing all this great stuff for you, but crap doesn't move because they're sandbagging you on the back end. And there's some more types that I talk about in my book, X Factor Selling System, but I'll send you a copy. But you got to going through the sales process. So you get through the gatekeeper, and the manager is not always a shot caller, right?
Right. A lot of times there's an owner in the background, but I always try to bring samples, and I'm always pitching. So if I'm talking to someone on the phone, even if they're just the person on the phone, I try to treat everyone from the janitor to the CEO with the same level of respect. And so, tell them about me, the brand. Try not to go into too much detail. When I show up, I already say, oh, I talked to Jessica, I talked to Tom, whoever, and I will bring the front desk person a sample, as well as here's samples for the manager, but here's your sample for you, because then they can try it. And and if I don't get a chance to talk to the manager or the owner, they can be like, oh, I talked to this guy, Dan. Hopefully they say he's a nice guy, leave a good impression. And they can even say that they tried the product and they thought it was good. So it's already kind of like the ball rolling in the right direction. So it's kind of some of the steps I take.
What do you do when you get stuck oversampling? You're third, fourth time, you're with the shot caller, you're with the influencer, you're with the gatekeeper, you're on the fourth tasting, they like it, kind of giving you lip service, but you don't get your purchase order. Like, how do you handle that? Do you like, hey, listen, like you up front, like, listen, like, are we going to move forward or not? Do you try more or less to long play it? Because it's really a tough business. That's why I'm really fascinated on your strategy, your sales strategy. How do you handle that when you're faced with the oversampling?
It's tough. I feel like I can get a good read early on if they're actually interested or not. And so when I get that initial feedback, it's kind of trying to find out, what are their objections? And sometimes we will, be innovative in our intro promotion for them and find out what's really going to make them feel comfortable about doing the first order. And so we kind of navigate that based on how busy is their store, how many stores do they have. And so we like to work with them. We know a lot of these other big brands, big companies, they're jamming product down the store's throat, basically. So it's tough to compete with that. So without having funds to do as much at that, we got to try to find a happy medium in between.
Well, the other part is everybody loves to support an entrepreneur, but sometimes they don't want the entrepreneur to make money. Right. So what happens is like, oh, great, I'll carry this for you. So what is this retail?
It depends. Our suggested retail is between $3.99 and $4.49.
Not cheap, but okay, I get it. But it is 16 ounces, and then also should be 2 cups of coffee. So I'm with you on that. So let's say it's not at $3.99. Yeah. Can I buy this for $2 off you? Or what do I buy
directly?
Let's say on the store. Is it Keystone? I buy this for 2, sell for 4. What do I buy? What does a store buy? Give me a range. I don't want to screw you up. Like you charge 1 more or less, but what is your range for the wholesale pricing for this?
Yeah, it's not quite, I would say Keystone, we're trying to get there. So I'd say, we're a little under that in some situations. And that's why we have this recommended range of MSRP up to $4.49. And
great answer.
Yeah.
Okay, really quick. So for those that don't know, Keystone is if and whatever he makes it for, that's his prerogative as an entrepreneur, right? But for the stores, they're looking for a 50% margin. So if they sell this for 4, they'll want to buy it for 2. The reason why he gives a range is for twofold. One is he's probably making smaller batches, which is higher than what he would like. So he would love to sell it for 2 or whatever it is. But he may offer a range, so they can offer a range, so they could stay within Keystone. But then also, who knows? Maybe he has a great month, or a great quarter, or a great whatever, and he's able to offer them incentives. Maybe somebody's a great client. So that was a great answer. I wasn't trying to get too behind the curtain, but I wanted to get a feel for the pricing strategy. Okay. So you're in
Yeah, it's
60.
crazy because I didn't realize almost 90% of stores think like that, like off the bat. It doesn't matter if they're a gym, if they're a convenience store, or grocery store.
Correct.
That's everyone's goal.
Correct. That's why you need to work with us because we know what we're doing. Just mess with you.
The other thing that's interesting is I try to pitch them on the fact that they're, even if they're not going on Keystone pricing, they're still making more dollars per bottle off me because we're at a higher price point than they would off of another product. So like, let's say they buy a Snapple at $1 and they sell it at $2, they're hitting their Keystone pricing, but they're only making $1 per bottle. Whereas they might not be hitting Keystone pricing with us, but they could be, making $1.50.
Well, so the kids at home, they call that average order value in marketing. So you would argue that AOV. So you would argue that, hey, even though you might not make as much margin on a percentage basis, you might have a higher AOV, which people spend a little bit more. Hence, you make a little bit more in absolute terms. I like that. So you got the messaging down.
But then they hit me with how fast is it going to move? How much am I going to have to? How long am I going to have to sit on? How much money and sitting on the shelf? So it's kind of like this velocity thing also.
Okay, so that's the other part too. So what you want to do as a store owner is, if I buy a six, just start small order, 6-pack. I need that to turn over quickly because anything that sits on the shelf, I lose money on as a store owner. The same token is he wants 60 accounts and he wants all of them to reorder as quickly as possible. So ideally, and I'm guessing, you don't have to give details because, you guys know I ask intrusive questions, but he's also an entrepreneur and it's private. So I don't want to dig up too much because his own business, but I'm going to guess probably 6 to 10 order like weekly, 10 to 40 order monthly. And then you have some dormant stores that you got to pull it through. So from the marketing perspective, there's two combinations. There's a pull through and push. Pull through is when you start marketing it in the area. So somebody walks in and says, hey, I want Bible tea, and they pull it off the shelf. That's why it's called pull through. And the push is to offer incentives to the store owners to say, I'm making this up. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know, because it varies by state, but you might give samples to offset costs. Or you might give preferred pricing or something to lower it even below your Keystone margin requirement internally and say, hey, I'll give you the incentive. So they want to push it because they make more money on it. So that's the push and pull strategy. So which strategies have you employed? What worked and what failed so far?
I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest.
Well, let me ask you this. Of your, and you're welcome to plug them or not, accounts that you partner with and it went really well. What does a good partnership with a local store look like, and what has worked?
One of our a great local account for us is Organic Basic Food on Hoboken, okay. In Hoboken, on Washington. I think it's 214 Washington. I should know the address. Basically, they are a very organic, natural store, and I've done some demos there before, and I guess that's a push through.
Yeah, a demo. Well, a demo could be both. A demo is pull through in terms of somebody walking to the store, trying it and taking it, or a push through could be if it's a demo for the store people that they actually recommend it. Because once in a while, I don't know about you guys, but once in a while I'll ask somebody, hey, I see that. Hey, did you try that? They tried it, great, and then I'll grab it, because if it pops off the shelf. So that's a good strategy there.
Yeah, and that's why I always try to give anyone behind the desk a sample to try.
I love it. So can I buy it direct? I saw you sell it on your website.
Yes.
And is it only in New Jersey, or it could be anywhere as long as you want?
We're shipping nationwide through the website.
And there's a minimum?
Well, we're pushing our 6-packs, and we're also selling in 4-packs though. You can order as little as a sample though. We have the sample program that we launched, during COVID. We knew that there was a lot of opportunities that were just not available anymore for sampling, events, festivals, whatever. So what we did is we launched a single bottle sample program, and it's the same cost as if you're buying it at the store, at the standard MSRP, which is $449. but all of our sample bottles ship free. So if you're not sure, you don't want to buy a 6-pack sampler and you don't want to buy a 4-pack sampler, you could buy one bottle just as if you were going to go into a store, and it ships right to you directly for free. And if you like the flavor, then, we hope that, you come back, buy a 4-pack or 6-pack.
So you'll do that. You'll do that as a loss leader to gain awareness, correct?
Yeah. It's an easier way to get someone to try some of our products versus a sampler. So we try to limit to one sample per new customer for that, but we're definitely flexible. We've sent out a couple samples. We've sent samples to some influencers, some foodie accounts, some nutritionists, some coaches, that sort of thing, and just trying to get some feedback on the product. So if people like it, they share it with their followers.
I like it. Now, one of the things though is doing what you do, because you only buy so much, and sampling programs and paid sampling programs, it ties up a lot of cash. No.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
So do you find yourself being almost like not a banker, but like, because of the nature of the business you're in, and I'm assuming it's you only have finite resources, cash management also comes into play, correct?
Yeah, it's really tough because, I'm sitting on money that's tied up just across the whole supply chain, because I have ingredients that are being waited, that I'm waiting to do another production run. And a lot of those, especially right now, raw materials are very hard to come by. Yep. And so the ones that are the hardest to come by, you got to have a stock. So the minimums on those, it could be a couple $1,000s for,
Correct.
One ingredient. And I got 20 ingredients. So I'm sitting on that.
And you got to buy more of it because you're worried you're not going to be able to get it.
Exactly. I'm sitting on a lot of bottles right now. I just ordered a bunch of pallets of bottles, because those are coming short, especially as we come into the summer months. And my facility wasn't able to bring them in. So I actually had to pay for a 3PL storage warehouse in the area, have them shipped there. And now I'm paying per month extra storage. And then I'm gonna have to pay extra to get them shipped out of there to go to wherever I'm going to bottle them up. Yeah. But that's just the cost. That's just on the bottom of the supply chain.
Yep. Well, so in your business, and you and I talked about this, his goal right now is to get as many people drinking the product and trying the product, and then becoming a habit and building out an ecosystem. Again, like, when the challenge is it is expensive, because, I'm not getting into it now. We usually talk about this on the other pods, is the cost per acquisition. What does it cost to get a new client, right? And he's got to sell kind of a double sell. He's got to sell somebody to place it, which costs time and money. And then that person who walks in and picks it, he's got to influence, ideally outside of the store, because inside the store, it's tough. People generally, I don't know what I want, and then you'll be there, but I want a Coke. Very rarely will people deviate. So I love what you're doing so far. You're doing some innovative things. I like the free sampling idea. We're going to put a link to the website below. I like the fact that you're out there hustling. You still doing the deliveries yourself, right? Like, if you deliver locally, as I understand, you're still doing them yourself, right?
Yeah, I just did I finally got into Manhattan this weekend. Did all the deliveries myself for that also. I'm looking to bring in a 3PL that can do some direct to consumer and B2B stuff for us. Yeah. And so we've been interviewing a couple of facilities in the area. Luckily, New Jersey, there's no shortage of warehouses and 3PLs.
Correct. Can you, for the viewers and listeners, what's a 3PL?
3PL stands for third party logistics. Yeah. And so that's someone that's going to bring in, it could be any goods. It could be packaging, it could be ingredients, it could be finished product goods. And so for me, what I'm really trying to do with our 3PL is, right now I have them storing some glass bottles because I had nowhere else to put them. But in terms of finished product, what I'm looking to do is have someone that can be a turnkey solution for us, so that once we have the finished product, we're storing it there instead of my storage system that I have now, and then have them do this shipping to online consumers, packing it, putting in the cards, information, stickers, sending it to consumers, and then also want to use someone for direct store. So a lot of people use FedEx for beverage, so they have discounted bulk rates. So they might be doing some deliveries, especially out of the New Jersey area. I'm really trying to break into Florida and California, because I know the summer is coming and the summer is going to be gone before we know it. And as a seasonal business, I told myself, I said, Dan, next time you come up with a startup idea, make sure it's not a seasonal business. And if it is, make sure you're doing it in a place where it's that season all the time.
Now,
so that's why I got to get to Florida. Got to get to California.
Could you be in a big box? Like, for example, like, let's just say you got a bigger box and they do a test, a regional test, and it requires a lot of capital. The other part is Shark Tank and all these other ones are like, well, I do a regional test of 100 stores. I think it's like rainbows and unicorns. It's the opposite because he needs to put in a whole ton of money. There's no guarantee. Depending on the deal, they may return it. And then if you're smart, you might have to visit each of those 100 stores along the test to try to pull it through in a sample program. So do you want like a big test right now? Or you're like, you know what, let me just, okay, you do. So you're ready for it. And if you needed to, you can get either PO financing or you could figure out a way to fulfill it if you need to, correct?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to scale. So as I look at, bring on a real co-packer, bring on a real distributor, and bring on some retail stores, we're trying to grow and scale. So, like a regional convenience store, I've tried to get into a Quick Check, reaching out to people at Wawa, for instance. So, place like that.
What's if they have an objection, what is their objection? If they had one, hypothetically.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super crowded space, as you know, right? Like consumer products, food and beverage, then beverage, and then energy, right? It's like every layer that you go, it's like the most competitive of the most.
It's a triumvirate of suck.
It's insane, yeah. So, they already got locked in, and all the big guys are launching new energy beverages right now if they haven't already, and they're acquiring brands, and so they already have deals set up across the board, chains with all the new brands that they've been working on these strategic launches for this spring for 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. I don't know. So it's tough to find the space. And I had a couple early conversations where people sounded like they were interested, sent them samples, and then just got ghosted. And it happens. And I get it.
No, that's going to happen. What about the liquor space? I know you're not, you're a healthy guy, and I see the pull-up bar. Could this be mixed? Is this not that you encourage it, especially for those listeners under 21? But can this be mixed with spirits, or it's not really it's lane?
Here's the thing, like I'm trying to promote like a healthy living, and I think that if people want to enjoy alcohol, to do that safely, that's fine. I've been trying to promote non-alcoholic mixed drinks with these recently. I just did a tasting at 99 Hudson in Jersey City.
Nice. How'd that go?
Spritzers. It was great. Really beautiful building, just opened up. And so we were just on the rooftop deck helping out. They just finished like one of the rooftop yoga classes, just mixing it with seltzer and ice, and just like really light and refreshing. And I think that's a great way to do it. Of course, people say, oh, this might be really good with this or with that. I'm not going to say yes or no, but the thing is caffeine, and it's an upper, alcohol is a downer. And typically you got to be very careful with how you mix those.
Good point.
So
I like the answer, because you could have been like, yeah, it's great with that pomegranate, it's great with vodka, but you decided to take the high road, and if somebody has an appetite for it or a drink opportunity for that, it makes sense. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Dan, I love it. And Dan, how can we find you?
Yeah, check us out. It's drinkvibal.com.
Love it.
Vibal.com.
So that's Dan Levison, founder of Vibal Tea. I'm going to put a link below for those that are driving, just in case when you stop, whether you listen on iTunes or watch on YouTube. We'll put a link below. Dan's a friend. I know Dan for a little bit. And every time I talk to him, he keeps advancing ahead. I felt like the time was right to have him on. And Dan, thank you for being on the Theory Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.